All right, guys. So welcome to the SEO call. We're going to go ahead and kick this off. Recording has started. So let's go ahead and get going. This is going to be just a Q&A. We're going to go over a couple things. I was waiting for Eric here with Ignite to hop on. A couple things that I was talking to him about that I told him to hold on that I wanted to kind of share with the group here on the call. So we've been
I'm on, Roger. Just let me know. I'm here.
Awesome. And then we're going to be looking at Alora as well. They got a lot of stuff that got recorded in regards to videos, images, and I think that's going to be a good example of some of the stuff that could potentially benefit everybody as you go. So I have some questions for Jake there and see what kind of stuff they created, what the next steps are when you do create this type of content, and how to, just to get the most bang for your buck. Or for your effort, actually, for that. So what we're going to do, I have a little bit of a game plan. I'm going to start with Eric with Ignite, and then we're going to go to Laura, and then we're going to go ahead and see how we can help Mr. Bob and see where we can go from there. So with Eric, it is Ignite. And go ahead and share my screen. So just to kind of set up what we were talking about, the conversation. So what's been going on with Ignite Property Group, what's being measured, and it's always important to have a game plan, whether you are a foundations package, accelerator, dominator. It's a lot easier when you're accelerator and dominator because we're controlling a lot of the data that's being collected and reported, right? But if you're on foundations and you're doing it on your own, or you're on one of our upper level and you're doing extra stuff, it's good to be involved with the metrics. But to know what kind of metrics you're looking for, you got to know what you're trying to measure. So what's been going on here is Eric and Terry have been focusing very heavily on really driving some traffic, or at least building the authority of their Google business profile, right? So their big thing was first to kind of check out what their target kind of area or market is. And for everybody, the first place you should be going to is what is the address. So we decided it was Carlsbad because that's the basic address. Now it's Carlsbad in Southern California, but then they can still rank for cities nearby, right? So rule of thumb, about a 20-25 mile radius, 30 mile radius. And how do I get that rule of thumb? It all depends on the competition that's around you that has Google business profiles and are optimizing, right? They're doing something, they have activity, because you could be in a rural area and very little competition, meaning not a lot of companies have these profiles, which means the how far you can appear on a Google map becomes very large, right? Which is awesome for some people. But for Southern California here, it becomes very small. We already know that. We've done the research. And there's a lot of there's enough competition to kind of basically make them focus on certain like a 20-mile radius would probably be the max for them. So we're going to look at a couple of things, because what have they been doing? They've been doing a lot of posts. So this is one of the things, one of the activities that you could be doing to really kind of start driving up the authority and doing it, what we call seasoning up your Google business profile. Is just posts, simple posts, right? And this right here, I was looking at a couple of their posts, and they got a nice, unique image. When I say unique and nice, what is it? Nobody else has it. That's unique. All it is Eric just kind of happened to go in there and make some nice edits and make it look like a billboard almost. So it's perfect. Then we go down here, look at the content. And it's just a little bit of information. What did I coach them to do is to drop in some keywords. We all kind of know this. We've been on these calls. If you've been on these calls, I know Bob, Jake, I've talked to both of you guys. You guys kind of get this. They sprinkled in. So I'm looking at it. I'm going to look at the easy one right here. So we buy houses in Carlsbad. And then the links. So if you did all this, but you forgot to put links, you basically didn't finish the process. Okay. So I couldn't really tell you how good that's going to be, but they did everything. Added the keywords, added a link. Sometimes you might not be allowed to add a link here. You might get flagged. So if you get flagged, you take the link out. Sometimes some people try to put the phone number in the content, they get flagged, you take it out. This is the call to action that you're given. And this should always be the most important one In this case, I don't know if you guys can see on the bottom left, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a link to the city page. And what city page is it? The Carlsbad city page. That's the one they're trying to link to. So they've been doing a lot of work around there. Now I'm going to ask Eric a quick question. If you can hear me, Eric, have you only been concentrated on Carlsbad, or have you done Oceanside, any posts? I just want to see what keywords.
Our main focus has been Carlsbad, just because he really wants to rank in that category, but
Okay.
we've been doing Oceanside as well because he wants to also do business there.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy one of, just because it's a popular QE that we buy houses in Carlsbad, close this off, and then I'm just going to point this out once again. That's good because their address is in Carlsbad. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that my geolocator is Carlsbad. Currently, I have it on Oceanside. So I'm just going to throw that on there. It's going to change my browser location. There it is. And let me just run it here. And all I'm doing here, so I don't confuse anybody that hasn't seen me do this before, I'm just kind of tricking my browser to think that I'm sitting in downtown Carlsbad. You can see it here on the bottom. So that matters for proximity purposes for your maps. So we don't want people sitting in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, you don't care. You want people that are sitting in downtown Carlsbad, looking on their phones and looking for a cash buyer near them, right? So everything's good to go. You can go ahead and throw in the keyword in my browser. Browser thinks I am in Carlsbad, and maps, or I'm sorry, ads right here on the top. We don't play in these at the moment. So we're going to scroll down. We start playing in here. So this is where Eric and Terry need to focus. So every week as they add more activity to their campaign, they need to start looking at whether they are ranking in the map pack. It's going to take them a while to get into these three, but it's okay. They have to go to more businesses right here. This will take them inside. And then again, you can run maps now, or you can run ads here on maps, but you skip the ads and you go to the organics. So we'll go ahead and scroll down. We're just interested, and they are being considered, and I can tell because they're right here on the map. So they have a pin, but I don't know what position, right? So we're going to see how far down they are. Let's see here, 1, 2, 4. So they're in position 4. So that's really good. They were, I think, I don't know if you remember, Eric, from what I remember, we were basically non-existent a couple months back.
Right.
So now with the work that you've been doing, you've been getting them in there. Now, when they are position 4, I still think they won't get any calls. They're not going to get any calls till they're right here, somewhere where it appears on the front end. That's when we start. And that's not me saying that just to be mean. It's basically what the data pretty much says, right? It's like once this is where most of the clicks and calls start happening. So that's the goal, to get you into those areas. Now, this is good. Now we're going to scroll down just a little bit more, because this is where what we call the organic rankings come into play. And we also want them ranking in here. So we're going to scroll down just a little bit and see where the heck these guys are at. And they seem to not be ranking on the organics, which is fine. That's another effort that's a whole nother strategy that I'll kind of, I want to see where they're at first. Then I'll give Eric a couple tips on what potentially they can be doing. So they're not bad. They're on page 2, position 3. Yeah, position 3. Okay, cool. So they're page 2, position 3. I'd be honest, depending on what Eric and Terry are doing and their time, their budget, whatever it might be, I would say keep going on the maps till you get into that top 3, because I would hate for you to switch gears and then that starts dropping over there. Because remember, if you start doing your activity, your competition might outwork you and you might lose a spot. Right now you have momentum, keep doing that. But say you do have the bandwidth, the budget, whatever it might be, and you guys want to add a little bit to your campaign, then you got to start focusing on this Carlsbad. Because if you guys can see this isn't just their homepage, this is their location page for Carlsbad. So we're going to click on that one. We're going to be redirected to the landing page for Carlsbad. And I'm just going to scroll real quick and give this company a couple tips here. So what do they have to do for quick wins? Number 1, right out of the gate, if you were to do a location video and put it on YouTube, optimize like we've kind of talked about before, title being the keyword, description, sprinkling in your keywords and then doing a backlink. Add the video, that can help. Actually, just with that one video, you might be able to kind of at least get it into page one, maybe the bottom, but at least it kind of moves things, gets things moving. So that's number one. Number two, recommendation that I would give these guys is, since Carlsbad is essentially the main kind of like address for the company, even though this is the location page, keep in mind, this is basically their main address. I would say go look at some directories, some citations, because most of the citations are going to ask for you to put in a URL. Even though it's going to go to the homepage, the URL, it's still Carlsbad. It might affect the rankings for the Carlsbad page. So that's easy wins, 2 easy wins: a video and some directories. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, then I would probably start doing some posts. Again, these are just easy wins. I'd start doing some posts on social media and adding the link. It won't show up because you add links. Some social media platforms won't show it to all your followers. I'm not interested in that. We're interested in just creating activity that's pointing back to the site. And that's why I would say, get creative on what kind of, if you can do some posts on social media just to get some of those backlinks from social media. And those are the easy way. Obviously, we can keep going a little further, but I'll go ahead and stop. We got a hand up here. We'll let Bob ask a couple questions here. Go ahead, Bob.
So if you go back to the other tab with the map of the information.
There you go.
The one that had the list of all the different LLCs.
Oh,
Control Shift.
It's because I clicked over to it. Let me go back to it. Here we go. And I'll go back. Whoops, sorry. Go page 1. And here we go. So we got them all here, and then I can click here for more businesses.
If you reduce the map size, hit the negative, the minus, does that change the listings?
It can. Great point. Actually, great point. It can. Like not necessarily here. If you start, because I have actually experimented with that. When you start clicking around, sometimes these change, right? But the trick here is that when someone types in a certain keyword, we have no control of what they put in here, right? Google, right? Google's going to, and that's what we want to nail down at whatever, without us having to manipulate the map to change those rankings. Because sometimes you can get yourself in here by kind of moving this around, because then it starts kind of changing kind of where the locations are. But it works actually more. I think I've done it over here where you do a little more in, and then these change. You can see how it refreshes, go further, and it keeps changing, or out, right? And then these rankings do change. But yeah, does that make sense? It's like we're trying to nail down the actual keyword, so we don't have to do that, because then it defeats the purpose.
Right. Then the next question I had was, a lot of these say we buy houses. If you change the vocabulary to I buy houses, or whatever, just to change the alphanumeric order. Does that do anything?
So that was an old kind of black hat, gray hat, whatever you want to call it, a little bit of a hack, we'll call it, to try to kind of rank some of these. Google's very, very strongly recommending against that, right? They always have, actually. Now they're kind of pushing more on it, but I'll be honest right here. I know we're being recorded, so I'm gonna say it very carefully here, so nobody kind of goes all in on something like this. It's still gray. Right? It's still gray, but it still works in some industries. And we just happen to be in one industry where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't in some markets. So for example, when I have a company that's building Google business profiles in multiple states or even multiple locations, we have to change the name. So what I like to do, I already know that Google's pushing, just in general, because they're very, very public about it. They want to go brands. They want to know that you exist, that you're a brand. They're trying to get rid of the fake profiles, fake companies, right? So they want brands. So I always go for brands, and then we'll do our off-page SEO and stuff like that to build the authority around it. We're fine. But when I'm going to build a second location, for example, if I was going to do Ignite and they were going to do, where else do they have locations? Let's check them out. Say they're going to do Encinitas, a Google business profile in Encinitas as well, then I would name their new profile Ignite Property Solutions - We Buy Houses Encinitas. That's me using that hack. And I only use that when I'm building multiple Google business profiles for our clients. That's the only time I do that. I try to kind of stay as much on the white hat as possible. When I say white hat, if you guys don't know, that's like the proper way. When you start saying gray, black hat, you're heading towards the straddling kind of the rules, going to the other side, which in some cases it works, but you just got to be careful. And why do you have to be careful? It does exist. There are penalties. Google does give out penalties, and it's really hard to get rid of those penalties once you cross that line. So we kind of keep, if we do anything kind of a little bit on the gray hat, it's been tested hundreds of times, not only through us, but through, our partnerships, masterminds on SEO. So we're sure that it's something that's we're comfortable with. So just so you guys know how it is, in case you guys want to do something a little risky, I wouldn't recommend it. You really have to have the data behind to do that stuff. All right. Any other questions in regards to what I just went over for Ignite Property Group before I move to something different? Nope. All right. So we'll keep moving here. So I'm going to pass it over to, actually, let's do a couple different searches. Sorry, Eric. I know we're going to do a couple searches. Let me check. So just so you know, for Ignite, we buy houses, Carlsbad, in Carlsbad. Keep at that. Keep going. I think I have someone sent business credit. Oh, got it. Keep going at that, Eric. I think you guys are just a step away from getting into that 3-4 pack. That looks like they're even giving us 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one of them's an ad. So 3-pack. Keep going. You'll get in there. But the other one we want to check. I'm just kind of curious what it gives us if I do. Sell my house fast. Another popular keyword. Sell my house fast. So see, more for Bob here. People are still using that hack. And in some cases, these have been there for a long time, right? So a lot of the people that are sticking like us that have our clients like sticking to the brand. In some markets, we're outranking a lot of these guys that are using this old method still. So we're not too worried about that. Let's see
house
here.
in San Diego is still in the top 3.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 reviews.
So opportunity, Eric, your
Right.
keywords, right? Your posts. I know you're focused on certain ones. Now you have some ideas on what else to kind of put in there. And
Reviews as well.
Yep. Reviews is huge. I think you guys will be sitting nicely with a couple more reviews. And for this particular keyword, and it is an important keyword, keep that in mind. Sell my house fast in location, right? That's a must. The we buy houses, sell my house fast, cash buyers in, those 3 right there is a must. You got to have those in your content when you post to try to kind of rank for those in the maps. Those are going to pop, what means generate the map when people search for it.
Okay. How would I be able to because I do have that Chrome browser plugin, but it's not letting me take a look at my competition as far as the guy that's in the number 3 position. I'm kind of curious, would you be able to just take a quick look to see how many posts he has, or maybe how many, like what he's doing as far as images? Because I've been adding a ton of property images that Terry's been sending over. I'm just kind of wondering where we're lacking in order to move into that position.
Yeah. So without kind of some of those tools, it's just manual. It's still there though. It's manual. Like, for example, you're kind of like, all right, what's my competition doing? If you were trying to, what do we have here? Sell my house fast. Make sure I spelt it right. My house fast, Carlsbad, California. And you didn't want to use a tool. You want to see exactly what they got going on. Click the company here. And once it brings it up, we'll start kind of analyzing. It's right here. So go from top to bottom, because Google doesn't always give you everything that we want, right? So let's go for the easy wins. Reviews. Just make sure you have more than them. That's about it on that one, right?
Right.
The category right here. Unfortunately, if they have additional categories, which is some of those plugins show you if they have them, this at least gives you the primary category. At least you can base yours off of that. Make sure you have something.
We got the same one.
Right, yeah.
Cool.
Address, this doesn't matter. It's like all of you guys have the address, areas served. Now, is this going to click? I haven't clicked on the, here we go. I didn't know that you can get that pop-up. This is really cool. Now they're actually showing us areas served. You're going to get their list. So for you guys probably have a pretty big list from what I remember. You kind of
Right. Yeah. I added like 4 or 5.
which is fine as long as you have Carlsbad in there.
Right.
So you're good there. Hours, and you start, one of the things to look at too, some profiles just have like the reviews, this, and that's it. They didn't fill out a lot of the information, right? So if you start seeing a profile that has a bunch of stuff filled out, basically all their business information, and you don't, then go in and fill it out. It's all there. So the more you fill out as well, say you do no optimization, all you did is fill out the form completely. Well, if nobody else is doing any advanced SEO for these, but you filled out more of the form, you're going to outrank them. So just a couple tips there, easy wins.
Okay, cool.
The questions, I don't know if you started, I can't remember if you told me you did or you didn't, but these questions, they have none. So that's a box you can check right away to outdo them.
Okay, cool.
Photos here. This is where I think you're asking. Here are some of the, these are just photos that they're uploading, kind of what you were just talking about, right?
Right.
So wonder if they give us a number. I actually don't have them. So unfortunately,
Just scroll through it on the left. and
Yeah.
You can run through them real fast. Just put your mouse over it and scroll down. You'll blow through them.
oh, right here.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you wanted to really count, well, actually they do. Keeps refreshing. So there's, there we go. Not that many. So what I would do, Eric, is kind of take kind of like a visual of what kind of images they have, videos, if they have any things like that. If you want to go kind of like real stocky and or stalker, just look at it and see what they got going on. I know Terry has all of these images that I see here. He has properties, so you can do.
No, yeah, we just added probably like at least 50 images. I added 50 images probably like last week alone.
Oh yeah, and those are good. Now those images, I know it's a lot, right, that you're uploading, but there's a couple things that you can actually do with the images. You can pain in the butt,
Geotag.
but you can geotag and name the file. You can literally name the file with the keyword and upload them. Now there are theories. Don't get too much on the technical debate, but there is a debate out there whether or not the geotag is stripped when you upload them. I really don't care. We're going to do it anyway. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, we try it, right? It's all about trying to outdo the competition. We do them anyway. So if you do it, there's a possibility that it will stick.
What I did before is I basically just like you said before, just leave the image how it is, right? So when they took that original image,
Yeah.
I used that. That should have had the geotag attached to it when they took
Correct.
a picture of the front of the house. So
yeah, that's the easiest way. Like the more advanced is obviously to rename it, geotag it, and all that. If you do any type of edits like this, looks like it's been touched up. Well, if they took it with their phone, uploaded to Canva or Photoshop, downloaded it back to get this version, this is no longer geotag. Got stripped when they put it into a software. So you would have to re-geotag it. But for you, you're uploading directly from the phone. If Terry provided all those images, then the image name is not going to be pretty. But again, it's an SEO task, right? So you at least got the geotag on it. What else can we look at for these guys? Going to scroll a little bit more. And then I don't know, you might want to check out some of the reviews as well, what people are saying about them, because you might be asked, hey, what do you want me to write about, right? And get some ideas on how people are responding. But your posts, you're asking about posts. Here you go. Go post, just kind of to Bob's point, just scroll down, read through some of this stuff, see what they got going on. To be honest, you can rewrite some of this stuff, pick a different photo and go to town on it. They got a lot.
Recycle these photos too.
Yeah, this is actually not a bad deal that for you to kind of use as an example. I would do this task this analysis, Eric, manually for the top 3. I did it for the one that was ranking number 3. I would do it for number 2 and number 1.
Okay.
You guys, that I think at that point, you'll have enough information to keep you busy for the next couple months.
Okay.
His posts were one a week since February, just what you scrolled through. So
Mhm.
just that's probably what his advantage is.
I've been doing it every single day, 5 days a week. So
There
Might
you
just
go, man.
just might take the time for the Godonculator to catch up because he's only got one a week.
yeah, I think where he's beating me is the reviews. He has a ton of them.
No, he's got 2.
Oh,
Okay.
the last person we looked at, I thought he had like 10, somewhere around there.
He's only got 2, 10 months and 9 months apart.
Yeah, so it doesn't, the one thing that they're missing that you can do all of this and check one more box, it's going to be reviews and questions. And that's
Okay.
more activity. You literally just nailed it. So you got your formula now on what your next steps should be.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, man. All right, we're gonna go ahead and switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about Alora with Jake a little bit. There's something unique that they did. This is something that's not as easy for every company, but when you have the ability to do this, then I highly recommend it. So right now, Jake and Marie have signed up with us at a dominator level, right? So this is an example of a company that's coming in. It's going to have us do their SEO, their advanced SEO, but they're willing to go even one step further than that to start kind of really, because this is a brand new company, brand new website. There is no seasoned up in the last couple months. We're starting from the ground, pretty much from the ground up. So this is going to help us a ton because one, we got the standard website up. We already know that to a certain point, they're going to rank, but are going to end up on page 1? Probably not, but they're going to do pretty good. So what we're going to be doing is going through with our dominator level without them providing any of the cool stuff that they just did. We're going to be going through the current site, updating some of their content. Why? Because we have a budget for it. They're doing dominator, right? So we're going to be going through all their city pages, doing some more advanced optimization, putting some unique content on there, probably talking to them and seeing what they're doing in certain markets. For example, they are really honing in on the military families. So we're going to probably kind of be picking certain locations, Fort Bragg, Fayetteville, and really kind of for those pages, really putting a place of relocation, right? For military families. Does that fit for every location? No. So we're going to pick certain locations. So you can think about that for your own company. There might be certain locations that might have unique content on there because it's a certain service for that market, right? So you can definitely do that as well. So that's what we're doing for them. But one of the cool things that they did, and I'll use Fort Bragg real quick. They went and shot a lot of video. I haven't seen it, but we've talked about it. We gave them some guidance on what to do. So number one, probably the starting point, I call it the most important video just because the easiest one to do is the city page video. That's a simple one. I'm assuming they're together. They're talking about what their instructions were. Make sure you use keywords, the location name, and what kind of services you guys offer, right? For this area. And this is one of the military areas, right? So we're going to probably hear them say, we buy houses in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We hear them all that, but they're also probably going to include, some of the services that they're doing. That video is going to automatically go here. Number one, Jake, you're probably going to upload it to YouTube. We kind of talked about that. So if anybody doesn't know that, when you shoot a video, we don't do it. We have you guys upload it to YouTube. And there is a process in regards to how to optimize that video. Title, I'll run it through it real quick. Your title is going to be this keyword, this right here. We buy houses in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So that's the title of it on YouTube. That's it. And then in reality, the description could potentially start with that. And then it's up to you to kind of add, if you want to add a little bit more to that. But in the YouTube description, you have to have this link. And usually I like to throw it in there towards the bottom. Hey, if you want to visit us and you need some help, this looks interesting to you, click this link. And what it does from YouTube, it's coming to your website. Not only just your website, but it's coming to the Fort Bragg page. And that just gave you a vote, a Google vote, right? For off-page optimization. So that's how we do it. Now imagine duplicating that by 100. That's what you need to do if you're competing in a high competition market. So that's what we do. That's only one backlink. So what we're going to do at the dominator level, we go out and recruit bloggers that are talking about real estate. We give them content. We write unique content. We have them posted on their blogs, but we ask them to add a link, this link back to certain pages that we want to rank that are important. And we do that at a more massive level, right? So we can kind of move the needle fast for you guys. Now, the other thing that they did that was pretty cool is they created, and Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm overstepping here, but they created it in an about page video. Did you guys get to that?
Yeah, we did. We took,
Okay.
I think we have like 26 videos in total to upload. So we got a bunch.
Right. So there was a number of things like we literally did the ideal, it's Christmas and you guys go and do all the videos. So it's Christmas for us because we don't get that quite a bit. So what they did, they try to create kind of video around, certain important pages. Now, I do want to put it out there. Do I recommend to put a video on every page on your website? No. Why? Because it slows down the website. Every time we add a digital asset to, or an embed, right, to a website, by default, doesn't matter what you do, no matter how fast your website is, it slows it down, even if it's by a millisecond, right? That doesn't matter. That's how you balance out for an SEO campaign. Sometimes I get asked that. It's like, well, it's not running, 1 second or 2 seconds. Well, I would rather give up and run a 5-second load time, but have these important assets that are going to help me rank higher, right? Opposed to having a super fast, limited website, but it doesn't have a lot of information, no embeds, which those people that do have those, even though they're slower, they're beating me in the rankings. So I always say all your locations need a video because those are important SEO pages. Those need to rank, so they need a video. And then people are going to come to the about to learn about you. This is a perfect time to have a video on here as well. So that's the second one. The other page that's important to have a video on is the how it works. Now, I do recommend that you guys, all of you guys, should be looking at the how it works. We do this, we created it in a way that fits everybody, but nobody has the same processes, right? So you might want to look at your own, like you look at what we created for you and see if it aligns with how your process is. And if it doesn't, you can always send in your content on what kind of edits you want our support to change. But the how it works, we're starting to notice a lot of traffic comes here. That there's a funnel, right? They go, sometimes they land, on a city page, then they want to know what it is. So they go to the about page or how it works. And then they go back either to the contact page or to the city page to try to opt in or something. So here is another one on an opportunity to tell people how it works via a video. So this is another one that's really good. What else? Tell me a little bit about what other videos you guys created, Jake.
Sure. Yeah. So we hit all the locations. We spent the day driving around. If we didn't make it to the actual location, we just, kind of substituted in the name in the script. I actually have a list. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Roger.
Yeah. Well, while Jake kind of looks at his list, I'll also throw in, they took pictures. I asked them, take as many pictures in different locations that you have. What are we going to do? We're going to go, like, all the pictures that we currently are using on their website are stock images. Yeah, it reflects the area, but those pictures exist on the internet. So Google's already scanned them. They don't really bring us a lot of value when it comes to SEO. So what we like is to get unique images from you guys, and then we'll replace these. And what happens is now we have a unique image that does not exist on Google that we can scan and our company owns, right? We're the first ones to post it. So now it's related to our company. But if we geotag it, now Google knows, hey, it's a unique image. And I know exactly where this image is from. You must do business in Fort Bragg, right? It's like nails down everything in regards to proximity. Go ahead, Jake.
So we got a homepage video. We have a how it works video, an about us video. We have a thank you page video for after people submit the form.
Right.
Testimonial video from somebody that we did a wholesale with in a previous company, but she was kind enough she hadn't provided us with a testimonial yet, and to be kind enough to give us that testimonial for Laura Homes. So we'll have that up, and then also some project house videos, just a flip that I have in Raleigh and a property that Marie has here in Fayetteville. And then all the location pages.
Yes, so you pretty much nailed down. You gave us enough work for the next couple months actually, because out of those videos, we can actually take screenshots as well. So even though, because even the screenshots, they're your videos, they're screenshots, we can always geotag them with our tool. So they're still valuable. So we can kind of take those. So that's awesome. You probably gave us enough digital basically the actual media content for us to use for the campaign for the next couple months. So that's awesome. Good for you guys. And then what we do, if you're kind of wondering, I'm going to go ahead and do that, or I'm going to do something like that, or I'm thinking about doing it. It can be a little cumbersome for our team. So I will kind of put it in here on this call. If you are going to go out and do something, it's kind of like what Jake and Marie did. Let us know, and we can provide you a link to a folder. So we create a profile for each one of our projects, right? Each one of you guys. And if something like that's going to happen, instead of sending an email per email, and just it becomes a big thread, you let us know, we'll send you a link and you can just drop in your images and videos in there. Or not the videos, because videos are going to go in YouTube, but your images. And that way we can use it for your website. Now, that's assuming you're Accelerator Dominator, we can use it in there. If you're doing it on your own, we might have to do one at a time, because you might just be working on a certain city page, for example, right? One of these pages, and we'll work with you on uploading certain things, one at a time or a couple at a time. Hopefully that makes sense. Jake, did you have when you guys went through that process, maybe you can talk a little bit about how difficult it was for you guys to maybe align some challenges. I'm always kind of interested, because this is a big request I was put out there, but we never, we actually were there with Sal and Chris in Houston. We did some videos. That was really fun, but I'm always curious to hear other people's experience when they go through this.
Sure. So two things that made it just way easier was getting a gimbal, like a motion stabilizer. So I don't know if you can see it, but it just allows you to hold your phone, be able to walk and not have to worry so much about, the angle of the camera while you're speaking and getting content if you're moving around. And then a teleprompter app. So if you're going to record the videos, get an app that, I don't know the name of the app specifically because we use Marie's phone. But it was just a teleprompter app that allowed us to upload a script as well as take the video right there. So that made it just incredibly easy as compared to trying to take, just from memory, because there was a few of our scripts where we're kind of interchanging lines and jumping back in, and it was kind of challenging before we started using the teleprompter app. So I'd say those two things probably made it the easiest, as well as mapping out all the videos you want to shoot, well in advance.
Marie, what about you? I didn't realize you were on here as well. Whoops, you're muted.
There we go. Was wondering why you couldn't hear me interject before. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to go speak at a RIA event tonight, so hence why I'm all dressed up over here. But anyway, yeah, I think, Jake and I tried to memorize 2 lines and just speak, and it was so bad. And I was like, Jake, we have to use this teleprompter app. It will just make our life so much easier. So that went really well. And then we had different ideas of, Jake's definitely a little bit of a video snob and connoisseur, has some really ideas that he wants, and I'm like, okay, but Jake, done is better than perfect. Let's just record them, get them done. You can edit the videos as long as you want later, but we got to get them done. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's always that's always the thing. It's it took me a long time to get comfortable because I always wanted to memorize everything, and I was super nervous and everything. Once I kind of learned that you don't have to do that, you just kind of flow, just kind of make sure you got the general, scope, just go with it. Your personality. Also, one of the things your personality shows, you're more authentic. And that helps as well. People kind of see that, and they appreciate that. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. And I think, Bob, I'm going to go ahead and rewind a little bit here. And it looks like you have a question. I saw it in the comments here, so I want to kind of give you an opportunity there.
Yeah. So when I went and looked at my profile, that said that I had the Google credits I could use, or for some, it's like a $500 Google credit. I don't know what that's for or how to utilize it, just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So on your Google business profile, is that correct? You're getting not flag, but giving kind of like a promotion, like, hey, you got $500 or something on ads that you can use. Is that
Right.
what you're asking about? So I personally have not used that, but it's basically them trying to get you into running some ads. So I'm assuming when you click through there, they're going to give you a credit of 500. I don't know what the requirements are in regards to what the next steps, but just so you know, it's like anything else. They're trying to give you something for free, but they're probably going to require you to put a credit card in and commit to more than that, right? Maybe $100 just to kind of get you rolling. But not sure. I don't know if anybody here has anybody clicked on the actual in the Google business profile. I see them all the time. We just don't. I haven't done it. I don't know, Sean, have you guys started moving towards that when we're running ads?
No, it's a kind of like a bait and switch. It's a lead magnet on their end. I think ads are definitely the next play. That's why we're focusing very heavily. A lot of our higher level clients working in the ad section, and it's Google also sees that, and it's Google's way of saying, hey, just like Roger's been really hitting on and pushing with you guys, the Google business profile. If you really pay attention to the Google search, what's predominantly sucking up the on-screen real estate in a Google search, it's ads and GBP. You actually have to start to scroll most times before you even see some of the organic stuff. So what we're already seeing, and it's been a big shift that we've been moving in, and you'll hear more about it as we get back starting in August. The clients that are working in the ad space, and Roger and the team have been working heavily on their GBP. It is probably the only time that Roger and I could ever guarantee your phone will ring, is when you've got that 1-2 punch on there. So Google is pushing a little bit more towards it, and that's why they're kind of dangling that, hey, you got a new account, here's $500. Because if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to running ads, $500 will disappear in a week. Matter of days, $500 could go bye-bye. And then you're hooked, right? It's kind of like the drug kind of game. I got the needle in your arm. You want more now. So the other side of that, I guess, no, Roger, Mike and I have not actually kind of said, oh, you've got 500 in credits, let's play with it.
Yeah, and also Bob, and for everybody, actually, it's like because ads on maps is relatively new as well. Not super new. It's been there for a little bit now, but that's really cool. There wasn't, and now that you see, it's like we're pushing maps. For the natural thing for Google to do is like, well, we're going to sell you organic ads, right? In the not organic ads, but in the Google results ads. But now you can also run map ads. So it's another way to kind of get more money out of you. Yes, to get more money, but at the same time to try to get us to compete in maps as well, because that people are clicking on there. So it makes sense. It does make sense. So anyway, more to come.
$1 a day thing, Sean, that you were talking about a couple weeks ago. So that was, what I was thinking.
$1 a day, that's a Facebook and Instagram strategy. That's the only place that actually kind of comes into play, is on the Facebook and Instagram side of things. LinkedIn, their minimum per day is a little bit more. I want to say it's $5 or $10 a day. TikTok is another one that's starting to do, and we've tested some TikTok ads and seen some really good results out of that, but it's a minimum of $20 a day over on the TikTok side. So, and TikTok's doing things a little bit unique, where you really need to be working with an agency to get all the tools, because it's based on cumulative of spend, not just you create your TikTok ad account and you got all the tools in the world. TikTok is kind of, I think my personal opinion, they're learning from Facebook and Instagram to keep their minimum is way more per day, but they're really restricting the functionality that you have to keep the pool of people managing ad accounts down. Because if us as an agency, if we're managing 20 people, 20 accounts, they're going to give us a lot more tools. so that Marie or Bob or whoever, you go and fire up your own TikTok account, you're not going to get the same tools as we are. Therefore, you're not going to get the results like we could get, which is TikTok's way of kind of making sure not everybody under the sun starts to run ads on that side. But with that, if you guys really like stop for a second and just take a step back and look at the strategy going on. Instagram just released about 5 or 6 different updates in the last 6 months. If you really pay attention to what updates they went through, they're literally ripping off TikTok, right? Now, go a little bit deeper. YouTube just released some new updates and started pushing some things a little bit differently. Who owns YouTube?
Facebook.
Google.
The other one.
YouTube is owned by Google. It's the second largest search engine on the planet. YouTube released updates and totally stripped the same type of shit from TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Google is making adjustments and adjusting the way that the search query comes up. Well, why are all of these platforms making different adjustments and ripping people off? And when I say ripping, they're not necessarily ripping them off in a bad way. They're realizing, Instagram realized there's some really cool things happening over on TikTok. Well, where does Instagram not want their people going? TikTok. So they want to bring the same functionality and then reward people for using that functionality or doing things a little bit different to keep them on their platform. YouTube said the same thing. YouTube Shorts. Well, YouTube Shorts is nothing more than TikTok and Instagram Reels at the end of the day. It's short form content. Well, why does YouTube, the place that has billions of hours a day being uploaded in content, why do they want short form? Because they saw the spike in growth in what TikTok was doing. And that's Google's sister company over there. Well, now really pay attention to the search side of things. Why is Google making such a change? Because when people are searching something, do they want long form answers or do they want quick, short, to the point, give me what I want, right? Which is Google Maps. If I'm searching for a company or I'm searching for a product, I'm searching for a service, right? Let's go complete crazy. My sink just explodes and I got to shut off water. I need a plumber. I don't want to search and have to go through a bunch of organics and click on and go to a blog article and then try to figure out how to, I just want to, boom, give me like the old school yellow pages. Well, that's Google Maps. So everything Roger's talking about, yeah, he talks a lot on the technical side, but really take some time and step back and look at the theories behind some of this and why these kind of start to play out, right? And it's always, this isn't going to be the last time we have this conversation. It's going to evolve again. And I know that's kind of like a way off the topic of what you kind of asked, Bob, about the $500 piece, but that's why Google's dangling this lead magnet, right? It's the strategy that we teach anyway, but they're just doing it for, hey, here's free $500 credit so that I can get you hooked on this. Why? Because I want you as a business owner, I want you paying more attention to my platform, not paying attention to these other platforms. I'd rather you spend your ad money with us than on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Does that make sense?
Yep, got it.
And notice Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're not giving you free money. So how does Google stand out to get you attracted to paying for ad space? Here's free money, right? But is $500 really going to cut it? No, I can tell you right now, data is already showing us when Mike's our ad guy on our team. When Mike and I study the data in the real estate space, if you're not doing at least $1,000 a month in ad spend, you're just burning money because the volume, right? The cost per acquisition, the cost per click, all these metrics come in. $500 can be done that quick. We had a client last week that actually, what was the number off the top of your head, Roger? If you remember, it was 800 to $1,000 or something in 1 week. You're talking about Signal.
Yeah.
$800 to $1,000 in a week. Their ad budget. Now we've got other companies that are, doing 20,000 plus a month in ad spend. So yeah, $500. It sounds cool. It's attractive. It's there. But it's their lead magnet. Their way of getting you to stay on their platform and do more from it.
Sweet. Bob, that pretty much answers. Yeah, you're good. That's good. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. We're getting towards close to the hour here. So just some updates for basically the rest of the week and next week. Sean, if you want to, I can give them basically, well, actually, I'll let you kind of wrap this one up because there's probably some things in the next couple of days that you want to probably mention.
Yeah, calls this week are as normal. Tomorrow we'll be doing our lead vault call. Thursday we are going to do a marketing call. I do have something to actually teach on Thursday, so be on the lookout. I might try to post something sometime tomorrow in the Facebook group about that, because that will be our last call. Our last kind of, hold on one second. That will be our last call for the week, and then coming in July, all we will have is on Wednesdays. Itzel will be logging in at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, so you guys can mastermind with each other, ask questions, talk around different stuff. Itzel will be on. Max will probably jump on here and there with her for kind of like a support kind of standpoint if you guys have something. And then we'll kind of reconvene come August as to what will happen with these calls. If we're going to go down to maybe 2 days, or if we're going to keep this 3 day, or go back to just 1 day. There's a lot of stuff that Roger and I are going to be discussing across 25, 26 days in the wilderness. He might get tired of hearing my mind go around, but that's the kind of the highlights for this week.